Retro Racing Reports from Ascot Park, 1963. It's actually April 13th of 1963. California Racing Association Big Car Races. And there are two really nice articles in here from Art Loya. We're going to combine two programs, the Big Car Races with the Midget Races. The Midget program is from April 7th, so it's the week prior. It got rained out. Their rain date was on Sunday, April 14th, the day after the Big Car Races. Now, there's some neat stuff in the Midget program, but there are no articles. So we'll just go with the two articles from the Big Car Races program by Art Loya. All of the annotations in here, in that very nice handwriting, is from Tim Kennedy. If you want the CRA's definition of real speedway action, then you'll have to include the annual two-day race meet held at California Midwinter Fair at Imperial during the early part of March. For years, these events have been considered by the CRA congregation as a definite top attraction of the year, including a little side trip south of the border where the fans receive their money's worth right down to the wire. From the time that the first car rolls out on the half-mile bank track for time trials, the suspense is terrific, and there's every indication of breathtaking thrills in every lap turned by the more than 48 cars that show up for the fair races. Well, this year was no exception, as the unseasonably strong winds in the Centro area were apparently due to a Texas tornado by the name of Gordon Woolley. He blew in from Waco to run off and steal the show by winning the feature 20-lap event on both Saturday and Sunday afternoons. Tooling the KEY Chevy-powered special owned by Colvin and Young of Anderson, Indiana, Woolley, who was a top contender in IMCA circuits in the Midwest, gave a record crowd of some 5,500 fans a thrilling performance that exhibited his all-around skills while showing the tail end of his mount to the top field of cars. On Saturday afternoon, a surprising starting field for the Trophy Dash was made up by the outstanding efforts of at least three drivers that include Ray Douglas, who turned in the fastest time of the day with a 26.14, driving the Leonard Sturdom Chevy 35. Next came Dick Zimmerman in the Ken Larson Chevy with a 26.36, Ed Lockhart driving the Harold Miller Chevy 31 with a 26.4, and Bobby Unser, who usually is more at home in the Trophy Dash behind the wheel of Ron McCowan's Chevy. After a first-lap tangle that eliminated the mounts of Lockhart and Douglas, Allen Heath and Phil Bradley came in as alternates in what became the best Trophy Dashes we've seen on this track in a long time. Unser made a terrific last-lap surge in the final 100 yards to close the gap on Heath, only to be nosed out by a wheel by the Northridge Ace. In the fast heat race, Heath repeated with a brilliant win over Hogle in the Morales Brothers Offie and Ray Douglas as Unser spun out of contention on the second lap. Starting fourth in a 14-car field, Woolley, a 39-year-old veteran, required only 3 laps to take the lead away from Wood, that's Johnny Wood, in the Brahmy Offie and Benton Burns of Phoenix, and immediately started a blistering pace to hide from the field as he took the checkered flag by well over half a lap. In fact, so proficient was his driving that there were many fans who thought second-place Bobby Hogle had won the race. And as a matter of fact, Hogle's driving was another piece of superb wheel twisting as he blasted his Offie from 9th spot to take second on the 12th lap on the hard but well-prepared track, despite a sizable hole that developed on the 4th turn. Heath, driving Vell's T-Bird, finished third ahead of Gene Brown in the SOW Chevy. On Sunday afternoon, it was Woolley again, but only after surviving a brief 3-car battle for the lead in the early stages of the race, and this time winning by only 3 car lengths over Brown, which was a complete contrast to his runaway victory the day before. As anticipated, the race was one of the best yet, loaded with crowd appeal. At the start of the feature, Brown and Woolley occupied the front row positions as they headed into the first corner of the first lap. Well, Brown beat Woolley to the turn and jumped into the lead with the Texan riding high and using the same pattern that carried him to victory on Saturday. The crowd was brought to his feet as Hogle was seen charging from the rear as he passed one car and then another to take third on the 4th lap. Hogel's sensational drive from the back turned into a three-way battle for the lead that was a little on the torrid side. Much to the approval of the wild cheering crowd, Hogel made a sharp maneuver directly in front of the grandstand, and Woolley made his move to get around Brown as Hogel started to get around both. But at this point, Hogel's mount hit the slickest part of the track and went into a slide as they went into the 7th lap. Connecting with the outside crash wall and tearing apart some 75 feet of the fence post as he disappeared in a cloud of dust, it looked real bad for the Buena Park Playboy for a few breathless seconds. But was received with a thunderous ovation by the crowd as he was seen climbing out of the demolished machine unhurt after the dust settled. Woolley, taking the lead on the 7th lap, was hard-pressed for the remaining distance by Brown. Bob Coulter, driving Tom Smith's Chevy, made one of the day's outstanding showings as he worked his way into 3rd on the final lap, as did D. Jones in the Miller Wheel Alignment Chevy, who started 11th and finished 4th. Second story by Art Loya. CRA Racing Fraternity was sorry to hear of the recent announcement made by Art Pratt of his retirement as an active driver after 15 years of top competition. The personable Leadfoot, who hails from Escondido, will retire as the current record holder of CRA one-lap track record of 21.85 set on August 5, 1961 here at Ascot, and as a former two-time modified sportsman champion, having won his titles in 1958 and 59 with the San Diego Racing Association. Art will not be undertaking an easy task, for retirement by any race driver comes hard, undescribably hard. However, a bit of good news is that because of his keen knowledge as a top mechanic, Art will limit his racing action as chief mechanic on his own car whenever his time is not being devoted to his wife Marie and their son Art Jr. I'm sure that the auto racing world will miss the popular guy and wish him the best of luck as he hangs his helmet and goggles up for good. Looking at the current car standings, it looks like the Chevys will have their work cut out for them as they trial 1 T-Bird, 3 Offies, and a Buick for the top 5 standings. Look for Bob Coulter to make things real interesting for the top veterans in this season's title chase. Coulter is unquestionably one of the most improved drivers in CRA ranks today and is currently the track record holder of the USAC 8-lap record set on November 10, 1962. Although some car owners are extremely hard to convince on the abilities of many good drivers, one of the best bets for a steady driver has been overlooked in the way of Bob McCoy, who not only has the ability to win, but overall, he has the will and determination to make good in this field. At this writing, I am happy to pass on a report that Hank Henry, who was severely burned in the Phoenix 100-mile race, is on the road to recovery. Due to several operations that saved his life while at the Good Samaritan Hospital in Phoenix, an urgent need to replace 26 pints of blood is now needed. Any friends or fans who've been thrilled to have Henry's actions here at Ascot or in the San Diego area who are interested in donating a pint of blood for Henry, please contact CRA official or Art Loya. Don't forget to get your tickets for the drawing of a beautiful hand-painted picture of CRA action donated by Paul Nearim, with the proceeds going directly to Henry. Drawing will be held May 30th, and tickets are $5 for $1. Again, see any CRA official for information on tickets.
Hey, this is Harold. Glad you enjoyed that video. Be sure to like, subscribe, share, put your comments down below. There's a lot more where this one came from.